Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my humble pranams at Swami's divine lotus feet. I pray to Swami that he's the one who speaks through me and he's the one who listens through all of us. And it is a great sadhana for me to delve into the experiences as well as the learnings at his lotus feet. So let me start off with um, what Adi Shankaracharya in his masterpiece, the Viveka Chudamani, he mentioned this particular, and Swami has been telling us about this time and again in his discourses, where he talks about Jantunam Narajanma Durlabha, right? And Swami has emphasized enough on this gift of this human body which he has given us, right? And I wanted to start off from there. So, yeah. So Swami has always told us that, and Adi Shankaracharya has in the third verse of the Viveka Chudamani talks about the three gifts mankind has been bestowed with, right? And Swami time and again has repeated this fact that Manushyatvam, that is human birth, Mumukshatvam, that is the longing for liberation or to merge in him, and Mahapurusha Samshraya, which is the care and concern of a Sadguru, a Jagat Guru. These are the three gifts which are rare and which can be attained only through the grace of Swami, right? Now here, what I'll take you through is my journey with Swami and how he has helped me and helped my family in the sense to navigate this and understand this rare opportunity. It's kind of, you can think of like a lottery, right? It's a divine lottery. Dr. John Hislop in his famous book Conversations with Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba talks about this it's kind of a quote on the first page where he says, how do you profit? Like, you've got this lottery, but how do you profit from it? So I will just explain and humbly submit few of my experiences and the kind of learnings at his feet. So let me divide this into three pieces here. One is pre and post birth. So before I was born, how my family came into Swami's fold and what happened during or post my birth. The experiences of the Anubhavam which I had with Swami through my parents, through my grandparents, and in Swami's university until today. And how sadhana and abhyasa, practical spirituality helps us in our daily life. So based on whatever I have understood little bit about reading and practicing Swami's values, how we can get nearer and dearer to Swami. So let me start off with the legacy, right? Now our family came to Swami through my maternal great grandfather. So my mother's father's father, and we have our roots in Kerala, and he was the owner of a printing press in a place called Palakkad in Kerala. And one of his friends who was a Sai devotee brought Satyam Shivam Sundaram and he wanted it to translate to Malayalam. So that's where the journey began. And that's where Swami entered our family. And my great grandfather went to Swami and went to Puttaparthi for Shivratri festival. This I'm talking about maybe in the mid or late 50s. And that's where my mother's parents, that is my maternal grandparents, in 1960 saw Swami for the first time in Mumbai. And my grandmother, who's still living in Mumbai, she's about almost 91 years now. Her name is Shivadas, Sharda Shivadas Menon. She was one of the first Balvikas teachers in the city of Mumbai when Balvika's movement began. when Swami inaugurated that in Mumbai. So that's how, from the time before I was born, family was part of this. And my mother, uh, fortunately, she studied in Anantapur. She did her BCom from 79 to 81. And that's how our family became really close to Swami. So this is what happened, the legacy, right? The technically, I am the fourth generation, and my nieces are the fifth generation. Uh, Now, I would like to tell you the mystery of my birth, right? So, how I was born is also completely Swami's miracle, and it's quite interesting when I think about it today as well. So, if I have to tell you in short, my mother was carrying, and she had visited the gynecologist for her regular checkups, and she was in actually for some terrible news because the doctor told her that the fetus in her womb needed immediate abortion, right? And if not, her life would be in danger. Now, any mother listening to this kind of a news would become inconsolable and would be in dire straits, right? And that's where my grandmother, she's really a courageous woman. She did not trust the doctor's words and advised my mother that faith in Swami is more important than believing in medicine, right? And that's how my mother started praying to Swami with unflinching uh, faith and perseverance. And because in such situations, and we have seen this in the last 2 years with COVID, that what else we can do, right? There is no other option but Him. And that's where Anyata Sharanam Nasti comes in, right? You don't have anybody other than Him. So this went on, and after a month or so, my mother went in for a second opinion, and to her utter amazement, this doctor told her that the baby was growing and was in a good condition. Now this instilled a lot of hope and confidence in her, and she got a lot of reassurances from Swami, which confirmed his presence and really strengthened that faith in him. And Swami did this by coming in her dreams. So, what would happen is every Thursday till the baby was born, Swami would come in her dream, and he would push a boy to her side, saying, "Boy, ma, boy." That's what Swami would utter. And in every dream, the babies kept changing. It could be a toddler now, or it could be an infant the next week. But Swami, my mother, and his words were constant, right? So he gave that assurance. And 2 days after Swami's birthday, um I was born without any difficulty. And as obviously, when Swami says that, it has to happen. Correct. So, as ordained by him, it was a boy, and that's how you see me now sitting here and talking to you. And that is the fascinating story of my birth. And if not for his intervention, I would not have actually narrated the story, which is his Leela, right? And so here I wanted to show you something. So Swami did. So this you can see is in February 91. He did the Vidya Rambam, or what is called as the Akshara Abhyasam in Puttaparthi. And he also, I was blessed that he did my Anna Prashnam also, where you give the first um, rice to the child, to the baby, right? So, so this is my story of my birth, and how he gave those kind of assurances right from before I was born. And that's primarily, I strongly feel, because of the faith of my grandmother, grandfather, and my mother. Nothing to do with me, maybe. And that's how I was named Parikshit, because if you read Bhagavata Vaini, also Swami clearly tells that the story of how Maharaja Parikshit was born. So I have a long way to go there in order to truly imbibe what Maharaja Parikshit, as a sadhaka, believed in and attained. right? So that's where the story of my birth started. So now I would like to take you through some of my experiences. So after I was born, we attended Balvika's program, right? And but my understanding of Swami as an adolescent as well, right, as an infant or as a growing child was highly shallow, or I would say inadequate. Prior to joining Swami's University in 2013. So just to give you a background, my mother, uh, not I didn't apply for my 10th and 12th. She wanted me to get admitted to Swami's institutions, right? The school and the Brindavan College. I was not very keen to join. And the first time she tried, she did not even get the call letter. And the following attempt again went in vain because I didn't clear the written test. But come 2011, 2012, this is post Swami's Mahasamadhi. The situation was quite different because and everybody has that kind of inflection point in your journey with Swami. Some get it quite early, some get it in middle, some get it quite late, and that is Swami's timing and his grace. But for me, I started earnestly praying to Swami. This happened maybe post 2010, wherein I had this yearning to study in Swami's University, and the keen curiosity to know about Bhagwan, and that led me to quit my job where I was working in Pune in a multinational firm, which at a worldly level may sound very unwise to do, right? So as sister explained, by Swami's grace, I had just completed my chartered accountancy course, got into my first corporate job, and here I was wanting to just join Swami's University. And a lot of people advise me that this is a big risk of quitting a good job and writing an examination, which may actually end up in failure, right? And but I don't know, it is Swami's grace and his the Shraddha which he bestowed, that lot of I came across a lot of people, including my mother, but external from the Sai alumni and devotees, who actually helped me gain that clarity, cleared my doubts and apprehensions, and that strengthened my faith in him. And that's how in 2013 I joined Swami's University, and the rest is history, as they say. So the period of 2 years at Swami's uh, modern Gurukula, right, which is the institute and the hostel, was truly a very, very transformative experience. Because till then, like I'm speaking to you today, I would not have the confidence to speak in public. So that is one of the softer aspects. But a lot of hidden talents and um, uh, for example, dramatics or publications, or even understanding the meaning of seva, right? Like during Gram Seva, a lot of students are involved in doing a lot of things where from morning 5 o'clock to evening 10, night 10:30, you're completely engaged. And Swami has planned that itinerary and that schedule very well. And I was a beneficiary, and many of my seniors, juniors, and peers have been till today. What we are is because of the university, the teachers, the entire ecosystem coming together, right, to broaden our perspective of life. Because as Swami always said, he didn't set up the university so that we can get jobs or we can get make a living, right? Swami always said education is for life, and he really meant it. And that is what you see happening. And professionally and spiritually for me, that was a paradigm shift in my thought process. And Swami always said this point that when he plants those seeds in the heart of students, he allows it to germinate at an appropriate time, right? So after graduating from Swami's University in 2015, it was quite of a roller coaster journey for me as well, which taught a lot of lessons, right? It was quite challenging. At the same time, it kind of shaped my own personality. And I just wanted to tell you one experience out of that to show Swami's omnipotence, omnipresence, and omniscience in a way, right? So this happened when I was this happened. The photos you see here is in it was taken in 2019. So as part of my professional career, where I was working with a company in Bangalore in the Tata Group. So company called, which you would be knowing, Titan, which makes watches, right, and gold. So this company, we had gone for a short business visit to Amsterdam, and though there were official commitments, I really wanted to connect with the local Sai community there. And Sai family is a very special place for any Sai devotee. Correct. So, and in a foreign land, it was my maiden visit abroad, and I wanted to go there, and specifically because this was on April month, and April 24th for us is a very special day, the Aradhana Mahotsav day. And I was there in a foreign country, not knowing what to do, and I had no knowledge of the city or the routes. But with prayers to Swami and very able assistance from the Sai youth of Amsterdam, on April 24th, I landed up at the house of this elderly lady. Um, she's not seen in this photo, but whom you see here are two very enthusiastic and what do you say, very hardworking Sai devotees from Amsterdam, wherein I got an opportunity again with my colleague here to clean this devotees, this person's backyard farm, right? And uh, when you see such experiences, when you go through such experiences in life with Swami, it really gives you the power of Swami's love. It really drive home that message that Swami is there irrespective of where you are. And these kind of reassurances, right, really help you to go forward professionally, in your personal life, everywhere, right? So this was a small experience, a big one for me personally, in my journey. This was about 3-4 years back. Similarly, when we talk about seva and COVID, so uh, Swami always said this, that um, the reason why we do seva is not to benefit others, but to benefit our own self, right? He gives us opportunities and chances so that we can improve our own self. Now it is left to us whether we can capitalize on that and selflessly profit from these events, right? So a recent example I just wanted to share is during the COVID-19 pandemic, where across India, through Satya Sai Seva organization or otherwise, there's a lot of work done by the Sai community. And this was again a small part of it, wherein Sai alumni, in collaboration with the Satya Sai Seva organization, as well as an NGO run by one of our alumni in Bangalore, called the Sai Krishna Charitable Trust. We got this opportunity during the wave one and the wave two to practice Swami's teachings of selfless love and sacrifice. And more we did this, more we benefited in his company, right? So what you see here is just a glimpse of that, wherein even including in Delhi, right? We worked with the Sai organization and our alumni, and we could set up helplines across 9 to 10 cities, and a lot of stuff. Obviously, I'm not repeating that, but the point is that this entire seva, especially during the second wave, taught us a lot of lessons. That when we jointly come together as a team, and this was not only in India, we could get volunteers and Sai devotees across the world, especially from the US and from Australia, wherein people came together uh, because they wanted to help, because they were undergoing that pain, right? So Swami always said this point that when we say pain in the society, it it is a reflection that there is pain inside us, right? We should actually go through that pain, and then only we can actually do seva. And through this entire COVID-19 seva opportunity, Swami reminded us and he gave this assurance that you show me your availability and I will give you the ability. Right? So it's not that I am more skillful than you or anybody else. It's just that we have to be available for him. And once we are available, he gives us that ability. Right? Uh, so in this context, I would just like to recollect one experience which I personally had. So uh, so Bharatish, one more alumni, and I were in charge of the beds team as part of this COVID-19, the Seva in Bangalore city. And one of the requests, so we used to receive a lot of calls on our helpline numbers, which you see here, based on which city you live in. So one of our patients was a elderly gentleman, and as you will recollect, SpO2 levels, right? The oxygen saturation level was a key is a key metric, a very important vital to be checked when you get COVID, right? So this person's SpO2 level, so for a normal human being, like if you check my SpO2 level now, it will be above 90, 95, right? His SpO2 level had plummeted and it was at 38. And this was when he was at his residence. So 38 SpO2 level means you need to be on a ventilator, technically speaking. But this person was at home, and we as a team could arrange a free ambulance for the patient, and we advised his son to rush him to a private hospital. And luckily, again by Swami's grace, we could get him a free bed by the Municipal Corporation of Bangalore, because the family couldn't afford a bed, right? And we all know the bed scenario during those peak COVID days. Now, getting a bed in Bangalore city for a person who cannot afford at that was a big miracle for us. So the point I'm trying to stress here is that chamatkar hote hai Swami ka. There are a lot of chamatkar which happens, but for every chamatkar which happens, like for example, if Swami cures cancer for A, there are B, C, D, E. There are hundreds others for him he doesn't cure, right? That doesn't mean Swami's grace is not there. It's just that I think in our limited understanding, we sometimes judge Swami, that why Swami doesn't do it. But as Swami has always said, you need to experience me and not explain things, right, to others of Swami. You can never explain Swami, you can only experience Swami. So the fact we realized in this entire COVID Seva, and our the big learning here was that we have to be there where it is required, and it only benefits us personally. Personally, for me, the biggest takeaway during COVID Seva was going internally and understanding why we need to do Seva. One, two, what Seva does to you, right? And when I say Seva, the point is not that some people like bhajan, some people like Vedam, some people like Seva. It's not mutually exclusive, correct? The point is, Swami always gives this analogy of a three-wheeler. Think of an auto, like you have the front wheel and you have two rear wheels. Now, your front wheel could be bhakti, like you would love bhajans, but the two rear wheels of seva, that is karma, and your jnana, which is your spiritual inquiry and sadhana, should also go along. So this triumvirate and this kind of this entire ecosystem, right, of jnana, bhakti, and karma going together was the biggest takeaway for me, because when you do seva or when you do bhajans, you also do the other part, right? For example, you have bhakti, you sing out of that bhava for Swami in bhajans in your Sai center. That also helps you contemplate and do your self inquiry process, correct? So these are all interlinked, and how Swami beautifully helps us achieve that is what I wanted to bring about. Uh, the last part I wanted to cover is some of my learnings in this journey. What I have understood, few of these things is the first is we always have two choices in life. We use the world to achieve Swami, or use Swami to achieve the world. Now, the former, that is, we use the world to achieve Swami, is the preferred and the easier path. And Swami, and in our scriptures, we talk about this as the Shreyas Marga, right? And the latter, that is, use Swami to achieve the world, is the Preyas Marga. It is actually the long cut. So it is always beneficial not to do business with Swami or whichever God you love, because it's not a barter exchange, right? Like I do this, you do that. Maybe at an initial stage, yes, we all do that. I have also done that. But as we progress, as we graduate and get into the university from school, I feel this principle has really helped me, because if like in our institutions, like even in Swamis, you would see people wearing white, like the boys wear white, they are clean shaven, right? Now, somebody may question that why is this required? Like I have inner purity, why do I need external kind of all this? But Swami has beautifully explained this as well, wherein he said that if you cannot change your external attributes for Swami, when I say I love Swami, right? If I can't change externally, how will I face the devil inside me, right? The devil, when I say the internal vasanas, like the Arashad workers, like. So, how will I work on that if I cannot do? So, this is one very important lesson I have learned at his feet. And so this was one of them. The second is faith and doubt. So, Swami always explains this like these are the two banks of the river, right? One, and in the Gita, Sai Krishna explains this beautifully. Uh, the one bank is Shraddhavan Lapate Jnanam, right? The person who has Shraddha, he is the wise one, right? He gets that knowledge. The other is doubt, right? Samshayatma Vinashyati, the one who has doubt perishes. So when you are a spiritual sadhaka and when we say that we are Sai devotees, I think we are on that knife's edge, right? You're really on that thin line where you need to be very careful. So Shraddha helps a lot. That faith in Swami helps a lot, and and what I have learned also is when, as I explained, the seva part, right? We do seva for our own fulfillment and not to impress others or not to kind of help others, right? Yeah, that happens as a consequence. But the primary objective of doing seva is for, because I am pained, right? I see the pain and I want to alleviate my pain. Correct. And that's how Swami started in the year 2000 Grama Seva, where he said, where he read on a newspaper, like that is again his Maya and Leela, wherein he read in a newspaper that a mother couldn't afford to feed her child and herself, and she took her life, right? And that's the trigger for Swami to start Grama Seva. So, what I've learned in Seva and in Swami's spiritual activities is this, that, and Swami has repeatedly told this, Swartham and Swaprayojanam, selfishness and self interest, these two have to be removed. Unless we remove that, we cannot get that inner purity, we cannot develop that pure love for Swami, right? And Seva, bhajans, Swami's 9 path of devotion, the 9-point code of conduct of Satyasai Seva organization, everything helps us in that, right? And what helped me in this journey also is going by the inner scorecard, right? um, it is inevitable that we compare ourselves with others, but it doesn't help us, right? And in the Gita also, Sai Krishna tells Arjuna that he is anasuya. He has that anasuya quality, which is he doesn't have jealousy, right? So I'm saying if you have an inner scorecard in life, that has really helped me not to compare with others, not to run a rat race, to focus on your inner journey, and the external part gets covered, right? Swami does that brilliantly. The other thing which has really helped, again, Swami's very, very important teaching, which we all know, which is COD, right? Sealing on desires. And this principle of, and which Swami taught us in our own, in his educational institutions, of simple living and high thinking, right? Where we do what is required, right? What we are supposed to do, but be frugal, right? Even 1 rupee, when Swami has to spend out of the central trust, Swami used to think, right? Because it is public money involved. So that same level of diligence, frugality, Swami has taught us, and that has really helped me. People today talk about financial independence and all that, savings being greater than income, and that is true. But indirectly, Swami has taught us already through sealing of desires, right? How to live on your own, how to have a very decent lifestyle, at the same time keep your desires and your needs on check, and you can reduce that luggage, right? So that is another big learning for me, which I've had. The penultimate one is, and which is dharma based attitude, right? Rather than rights focused attitude. And in collectivistic societies like ours, in the Bharatiya culture and in our Samskriti, we always focus on duties, right? So it is not that if you do your duty, you don't get the fruit. Swami has clearly told this, that the problem is this: if you have an eye on the fruits of your actions, you will be affected by worry, anxiety, and restlessness, right? And Swami, I think this was in his one of the world conferences. He spoke about this, and very, very simply gave this definition of worry. He said, what is worry? Worry is mentally created fear, correct? So the catch is this, that if you are going to go after results and the karma phala, there's no problem. You can go after that. But you also have the consequences around the worry, the anxiety around that, right? So Swami, and in the Gita, Krishna talks about, don't take sannyasa, but do karma phala sannyasa. So, and reading Sai literature has really helped me in this process, right? Which is the last part, wherein when you go through Gita Vahini, right? And Satyasai Media Center has done a great job in disseminating Vahinis. So what Brother Premanush talks about in the Gita series on Thursday Live, that is really, I've really benefited personally from that, wherein uh, Swami in Gita Vahini says that actions that pleases the Lord are greater than actions that fulfill the yearning of the devotee, right? So we have to do everything we can to please Swami, right? And question what we do, whether it is worthy of being offered to Swami. So these kind of insights which Swami gives us through his discourses and through his literature, and more you read Swami's literature, the way I look at it is like a mirror, right? 4 years back, when I read maybe a Bhagavatavayini or a Sandhya Nivarini, is very different from when I read it today. I think the same applies to all of us, because our perspective and our understanding of Swami and life and the kind of understanding keeps changing, right? Means it should always be more, it's not linear, it should be non-linear. At the same time, it should help us reach where we want to reach, right? So these are some of the insights which I have got and which I have kind of understood from Swami. And I would just like to tell one more point is about the 4 F's. And these 4 F's are not, Swami obviously talks about follow the master, face the devil, fight till the end, and finish the game. But the 4 F's which has helped really for me is faith in Swami. And before faith in Swami, faith in oneself, right? Swami says, unless you have self-confidence, you cannot have faith in Swami. So confidence in yourself, faith in yourself, focusing on your dharma, that is the second F, family. The third F, which is finances, obviously saving, COD part. And the fifth is the fitness. And when I say fitness, it is mental as well as physical. So this package, which has really helped, and the three Ds, which we have learned, duty, devotion, and discipline. So this framework has really helped me to keep life simple. At the same time, understand the nuances of Swami, what Swami has to convey to us, and the gift he has given all of us, right? Because uh, the biggest benefit we have with Swami is that he has come here and he's God. We are convinced of that. And it's like a kind of metaphor would be, we have a smartphone, right? So I have a smartphone here, and the user manual for that smartphone is also given to me, how to use that smartphone, correct? But if I don't you read that user manual and use the smartphone, I won't be using the phone to its fullest potential, right? I think the same thing for us. If we don't read Swami's literature, we don't practice what Swami has told, and don't read that manual, right? The kind of teachings and what life he has led, and we don't translate that into our life, uh, it would be a sheer waste, right? So this entire journey from I to we to him, which is said, where we have to finally realize that that potential which we have, right, the divinity which we have. I think we are all in that journey, and I just wanted to conclude with this particular thought, where Swami, and this is from Swami's discourses, where Swami talks about the life's balance sheet, right? And where Swami says life itself is a market where giving and taking, bargaining and speculating is part of the game. And life has its ups and downs, profits and losses, balance sheets, disappointments, joys, and sorrows. But the giving of bhakti in exchange for mukti is the most profitable business. And he is only interested in telling us about that. Correct? So I think we are really fortunate that today we are talking about this, and we have had the pleasure of hearing a lot of devotees, and that spiritual attitude which we have and which we have developed. And I personally feel that I have a long way to go, but the point is that he has shown his presence in our lives. And if he, even if he has not shown, right, a lot of people after Mahasamadhi question that Swami's physical frame is no more, what will we do? But if you just go by history and you look at Swami's earlier avatar, Shirdi Sai Baba, and today every nook and corner, you look at Delhi, Bombay, Chennai, or anywhere in India and abroad, you look how Shirdi Baba has kind of penetrated, and he's everywhere, right? So for Swami, it doesn't take time, and Swami has told that in several discourses and interaction with devotees that it is his will, right? And but we have to take that first step, correct? Unless we take that first step, he won't take those million steps towards us. and and I think the path of bhakti, which Swami has said, is the easiest. And I always pray to Swami that he gives us that viveka buddhi. At the same time, he keeps our devotion steady in our hearts towards him, because he will never leave us. But we should have that viveka and that perseverance and that purity of mind to always hold on to him. And finally, like the river merges in the ocean, or Swami's famous analogy of the salt doll merging in the water, right? Where one salt gets mixed with water, you will not know the difference. It gets diluted, it gets merged. So may we all be in his service and his seva, and realize the reason for our existence. With those words, I would like to conclude. Thanks a lot, Religion of Love team, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to delve into Swami's Leelas and recollect little experiences which I have at his lotus feet. Thank you, Jai Sai Ram.